Pause. Shifa. Maternity care, most affordable and compassionate, maternal health care in city of Vijaypur.
You know, we talk a lot about the 9 months of pregnancy, but what about what comes after? Those first 6 weeks after you give birth, that's often called the fourth trimester. And it's this incredibly important time of healing and bonding. So today we're going to walk through a guide to help you navigate this special time with a whole lot of confidence. So here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about what this whole fourth trimester journey is really all about. Then we'll get into the practical stuff, healing and the food you need to fuel that recovery. After that, we'll look at how to get back to moving your body safely. And we'll even explore a really beautiful spiritual take on postpartum care. And we'll wrap up with maybe the most important part, knowing when you need to call for help. So what exactly is the fourth trimester? Well, it's those first 6 weeks after birth, and it's this crucial window of time for your body to heal and for you to create that amazing bond with your new baby. It's a period that is truly just for you and your little one. And let's be real here. Your body has just done something absolutely incredible. So now its number one job, your number one job, is to rest. This is the time to really live by that rule, sleep when the baby sleeps. Let the laundry pile up, let the dishes set. Accept every single offer of help that comes your way. This isn't being lazy, okay? This is essential recovery. Okay, so what does this healing actually look like day to day? Let's get practical and break down the key steps for taking care of your body so you know exactly what to do and, what to expect. Now, your recovery is going to look a little different depending on how you gave birth. If you had a vaginal delivery, the focus is really on soothing that perineal area with things like warm sitz baths and gentle rinsing. But for a cesarean, the priority is that incision. Keeping it clean and dry, wearing comfy, loose clothes, and seriously, avoiding any heavy lifting is the key. All right, let's talk about something a lot of new moms are curious about, postpartum bleeding, which is also called Lochia. As you can see, there's a pretty predictable pattern here. It starts off heavy and red, but then it gradually gets lighter over a few weeks, turning from a pinkish brown to more of a yellowish white. Just knowing this can be so reassuring, right? It's a clear sign your body is healing just like it's supposed to. And perineal care? It can really be broken down into 4 simple steps. First, taking a warm sitz bath a couple of times a day can feel amazing. Then, use a bottle to gently pour warm water over the area after you use the toilet. Third, gently pat the area dry, no rubbing. And finally, make sure you're changing your pad every few hours to help prevent any infection. It's a simple little routine that makes a huge difference in your comfort. Let's switch gears and talk about fuel, because what you're eating during this time, it is so important. It's what gives you energy, it helps your body repair all those tissues, and if you're breastfeeding, it is literally the foundation of your milk supply. And you know what the single most important nutrient is? Water. You really want to aim for at least 8 to 10 glasses every single day, especially right before you breastfeed. And remember, things like soups and milk, they totally count towards that goal. Hydration is everything. Building a good recovery meal is all about getting that balance right. You want whole grains like oats for that slow-release energy, proteins like lentils to help with healing, and dairy like yogurt to get that really crucial calcium. Each one of these food groups plays a really specific part in helping your body do its work. So let's zoom in on 3 powerhouse nutrients for your recovery. First up, iron. You'll find it in leafy greens and dates, and it's vital for building your blood supply back up. Second, calcium, so important for your bones and for making milk. And third, protein. It is the literal building block for all the tissue repair your body is doing right now. Okay, when it comes to exercise after birth, the 2 most important words are gentle and slow. Seriously, this is all about listening to your body and, most importantly, getting that okay from your doctor before you start doing anything new. This timeline is a great, really safe way to think about it. For the first couple of weeks, you can start with things like Kegels and just some light walking around your house. Then, as you start feeling a bit stronger, you can walk a little more and maybe add in some gentle pelvic tilts. And then, after that 6-week mark, and only with your doctor's approval, you can start to slowly bring back some of the more strenuous stuff. So, what even is a Kegel exercise? It's actually so simple. All you do is squeeze the muscles that you would use to stop the flow of urine. You hold that little squeeze for about 5 seconds, and then you release. If you can do that about 10 times in a row, a few times a day, it's an incredibly powerful way to strengthen up your pelvic floor. Healing isn't just physical. It's also emotional and spiritual. So let's take a look at how the Islamic tradition offers this really unique and supportive framework for new moms during this time. A really key idea here is something called Nifas. This is the period of postpartum bleeding, and it can last up to 40 days. And during this time, a woman is actually excused from the duties of formal prayer and fasting. What that does is it basically carves out this protected, designated time for pure rest and recovery. And that completely reframes it, doesn't it? It's not seen as a restriction at all. Instead, it's viewed as a God-given period for physical rest and recovery. It's like a gift of time, set aside just for the new mother to focus completely on herself and her healing. What's so fascinating is how this tradition ties nutrition directly to your spiritual and emotional health. So you have foods from the Sunnah like dates, which are amazing for energy and iron. Honey is known for its incredible healing properties. And then there's talbina. It's a barley porridge, and it's specifically recommended to soothe the heart and relieve sadness. It's directly addressing the emotional side of recovery. And here's the thing. Even though formal prayer is paused, that spiritual connection is still so encouraged. Things like dhikr, which is remembrance, or dua, making personal prayers, and reading the Quran, these are all ways to find that inner peace and strength during what can be a really emotionally intense time. All right, finally, let's cover what might be the most critical piece of information here. Your health is the absolute top priority, and that means you need to know the warning signs, the things that tell you it's time to get medical help right away. So what are those specific red flags? The ones you should never, ever just wait and see about during your postpartum recovery? Okay, listen closely because this is so important. A fever over 100.4 degrees Fahrenheit. Bleeding so heavily that you soak a pad in an hour. Severe pain that just keeps getting worse. Any kind of foul-smelling discharge. A red, painful spot on your breast. Swelling or pain in just one of your legs. Or just overwhelming feelings of sadness, like you can't cope. If you experience any of these, you have to contact your doctor immediately. Don't wait. And one last vital piece of this care plan, that 6-week follow-up appointment is not optional. It is an absolutely essential check-in for both your physical and your emotional health, and it really sets you up for long-term well-being. Please, please make sure you go to that appointment. So now you have the map. You know the steps for healing, and you know the signs to watch out for. The only question left is a really personal one. How will you choose to honor your own unique healing journey?
Shifa Hospital Bijapur, Dr. Salma Attar for appointment call 243761.